So, Spider-Verse.
Go live, then we should be good.
In a few minutes.
You are live. So, we are live apparently. Hello everyone.
Oh, okay. Hello. Super professional of us.
Oh well, we just do it for fun. So, yeah, you're playing the new season of Battlefield.
I am indeed. I'm playing it as we speak, and it is super fun. Well, I mean, I always find it fun. It's supposed to be an old, like a reimagined version of an older map from Battlefield 4. So,
So, what you gonna do then?
sorry.
So, what level are you on it?
What level am I overall?
Yeah.
222.
Good.
Anyway, Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Sequel to 2018's Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. You know, it's
Oh yeah,
an animated
2018, Jesus, that's 5 years ago.
movie that's pretty fucking dope on the animation side.
They break like the animation, like make it amazing. Like every time it comes out, it's a new crazy thing that you hear about, the punk spider.
Well, I mean, yeah, they blend so many different styles of animation into one, don't they? They did it with the first one, and they've perfected it with this.
Yeah, they improved it in this one. Like they got better somehow. I liked I like all the different spiders, different frame rates and stuff.
Yeah, they're all different, different designs, different animation, different styles, that kind of shit. And on top of that, they managed to make it all bundle together into a good story. Because the idea of an entire universe of Spider-Men and Spider-Women, you know,
They somehow made it work. Like, because
even there's a T-Rex Spider-Man, there's a Spider-Cat, there's Peter Parked car, which is a Spider-Man car.
I wonder what his fucking event was.
Probably someone killed his owner and
Someone.
took him for. Someone killed his owner and took him for a joyride. The funny thing is, all our bases in the comics all are based on, even the simplest one-shot characters, they're all like Spider Noir and Peter Porker from the first movie. They were actual based on real, comics versions of Spider-Man. Even if they only appeared for like once,
Yeah, there is a game. I can't remember what it's called. It's a multiverse game with Spider-Man.
Yeah, yeah, I think I recall.
You get to
Miguel
play as
O'Hara,
Noir Spider-Man.
and Miguel O'Hara was in it as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, you get to Spider-Man 2099.
1999, yeah.
I think I know him from like the animated show of Spider-Man.
Hmm.
But obviously the multiverse has always been a thing, I think. Let's start at the beginning. So the beginning of the film, we get a recap from Gwen Stacy from last time, and we actually find out her backstory of how how she why she became why she wanted to save people. It's kind of so where Peter Parker is.
Yeah, in Gwen Stacy's universe, which I think is Earth 65, um, Peter Parker was her universe's version of the Lizard instead of Dr. Connors. And when he became the Lizard because he was sick of getting bullied.
Yeah. Do you know who
Uh,
voices him?
uh,
It's the guy who voices Yui from The Boys.
oh yeah, yeah, Jack Quaid, yeah,
Has a little
yeah.
cameo.
I read that on. I forgot it, but I read it and I did. I was like, oh, it was him. But anyway, yeah, he dies by she accidentally kills him.
1 second. This is going to be spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, well, it's still backstory, so it's not like spoilers for the actual movie.
Well, I think we got that back. Yeah, we heard about that in
We got
the
a
first one.
backstory in the first movie where we revealed she accidentally killed Peter Parker when he was the Lizard.
Yeah.
Well, he makes it clear just before he kicks it that he doesn't blame her.
No, but her father doesn't know she's Spider-Gwen. Or whatever she's called.
Yeah.
Spider... I
She
don't
calls
know what her name is.
she calls herself Spider Woman, but if memory serves, the comic I think she's based on is called Spider Gwen.
Yeah, the father thinks she killed... Well, thinks she did it on purpose, but she didn't. And then he's hunting her down.
And
Yeah,
even when he finds out it's his own daughter, he chooses like, nah, I put I long arm the law.
yeah, you can tell he's hesitant to do it, but he has to do it. Like,
Police officers.
yeah, and so she chooses to go and join what's it called? The Spider Society?
Spider Society, yeah.
She joins them after, well, that's after she had a fight with the Vulture from a different world.
With Renaissance Vulture.
Yeah, that's the part where he mentioned Doctor Strange and Spider Man.
Yeah, and Spider Man from Earth 1999-99.
Yeah, that's obviously after what happened with the multiverse opening up.
Yeah, the multiverse opened up. Everyone who knows Peter Parker is Spider Man is coming there. That's like apparently that really vexed Miguel O'Hara. He was really annoyed at it.
Yeah, because you know destroy the entire universe.
Nearly destroyed the entire universe by bringing everyone who knew Peter Parker as Spider Man into Earth 1999-99.
Well, yeah, they say it's that in that film, but in No Way Home they say it's a different one. I think they have a
Well,
different name for the Earth. Like,
yeah, well, the MCU takes place in. That's literally what it's called. They gave it the longest name of the fucking lot, like Earth 1999-99. It's literally 199999 or whatever.
yeah,
Let me
I
just
think
make
there
sure
is
I've got.
a contradiction though in like in it's even Multiverse of Madness where they have a name for the actual Earth they're on, where they're from, and in this one they changed it.
Yeah, so here I've just looked up. Yeah, it's called Earth 1999-99. The MCU. That is literally called. It's the MCU editorial, but it's also known as. It's got its counterpart from the comics universe. Its main counterpart from the original comics is Earth 616,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
was the one created. That was the original Marvel timeline created by Stan Lee. Prime Universe, in other words. That's where all the mainstream comics take place. Not the ones that have been rebooted or the alternate universes, that kind of stuff. The definitive Prime Universe of Marvel from when it was founded to when it was till basically now. The Prime Universe. That's what they call it. Earth 616, and the MCU takes place in Earth 1999-99.
yeah,
And
it's
Miles Morales' universe is, I think it's Earth 1610. Pretty sure.
yeah, the one that he's from. He's he wasn't meant to become a spider person. Turns out in this universe.
Yeah,
But
it was never supposed to be.
yeah, we found out why that happened because of the professor who became the Spot. He brought
Yeah,
the Spider-Man
the
to the
bagel.
universe. Yeah, the bagel and it hits him in the head.
He took a bagel.
That's kind of clever that they made a bad guy from the first one. Made him into a bad guy. Just
Yeah.
Miles thinks it's a joke at first.
Well, he kind of is, but never really mess. You shouldn't really antagonize someone who can literally teleport, should you?
No, it's their fault that he figures out how to that he can go to different universes. Because he gets knocked into himself. He goes to a Lego universe. He goes to the Venom world.
Yeah, Earth 64, I think it was called, or 68.
He's talking to the shopkeeper. It looks like you're not surprised. Like you see this every day. So you see Venom, so he saw Venom eat someone.
Yeah. You've seen Venom. Their universes had Venom. They've had Morbius, so on and so forth.
So, Mob, yeah, there is like a thing that happens in Morbius at the end. I remember that.
Still not
Uh,
seen Morbius. I'll see it when I feel like it.
Well, it's another Vulture from the MCU.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I did hear he was in it.
He ends up in their universe.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, the tubes ends up there. But it's like what is it? What was I gonna say now? Oh yeah, like I do love how it's really clever, this whole multiverse thing they've got going on. Not talking about the multiverse of madness. It's funny that that Sony and Spider-Man are doing this whole multiverse thing far better than fucking Doctor Strange did.
It wasn't even about a multiverse Doctor Strange. It's just
It was about what was it about Wanda? Was it being a
Wanda's
total?
the bad guy. That's what it was. She wants to get this girl who can open
Yeah, America.
portals.
Whatever her name. Yeah, I know. I've heard of America. It's not. I knew there's supposed to be some twist where she's not revealed to be the villain until halfway through because she
Yeah, it's kind of
because Doctor
announced
Strange goes to her for
yeah.
help, and she slips up and mentions America's name, even though he hadn't told her who America was. You know, hadn't said the name, and that's when she's revealed as the bad guy.
Yeah, she killed fucking everyone in the fucking whatever it's called, the place where Doctor Strange was. She basically just killed everyone that's there. And they think that they're gonna redeem her in the next if she comes back. How can you redeem someone who kills innocent people? With fake
Yeah, she's
kids
a
that don't even fucking exist.
she's a fucking terror.
Or she could actually make the kids again, but she's like, nah, I'm gonna steal someone else's kid. Okay, you crazy bitch. They just ruined her character for the sake of it.
And she conveniently lost the fucking accent, didn't she?
Oh yeah, in a show she comes out, she starts talking normal. She's like, and she blames the government for getting involved with it. You took hostage of the entire fucking town.
I think she took thousands of people hostage. How can you defend her?
You can't defend
You know,
it. The government was the really good guys.
psychologically torturing them for a fucking year, like a months on end, right? And it's like, oh, none of this is my fault.
She tortured them
Anyway,
just to get Vision who's dead and some kids that don't even fucking exist.
going back to Spider Verse,
Yeah.
I do love how it's how Sony are tying together their old franchises. They're different franchises. They tied together the Raimi verse, the Amazing Spider-Man, and the Venom universe. They've tied it all together with the MCU. through a multiverse, which is fucking clever if you ask me.
They did the multiverse before anyone
That's
did.
a perfect excuse to bring back their old Spider-Man actors, you know? Give back the fans what was lost, basically.
Yeah, they kept the characters intact and made them better.
Yeah,
Somehow,
kept their story
Andrew
intact.
Garfield got a fucking redemption arc.
Yeah, he was able to save MJ.
Yeah, and he was crying. That was actually a great scene. And Tobey Maguire wasn't ruined. No character was ruined, basically. The Andrew Garfield movies. Yeah, he was good for Spider-Man, but the movies were not good.
Yeah, the movies weren't that great.
He was good with Spider-Man, like when he's having jokes and stuff with a costume. That's what Spider-Man does. But yeah, the Sony owned fucking the MCU Spider-Man anyway, so
Mm.
they probably got most of the profits from No Way Home than Marvel, Disney Marvel anyway. It's they made the best decision in their life to buy Spider-Man. That was the best decision they ever made.
Yeah.
It's gonna be over $1 billion like franchise.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
well,
now.
yeah. It's money, money, money.
And they made the film on $100 million budget. That's actually a good budget because they can make money off that.
Yeah, like it's animation. Animation it's you know it's not that expensive to make an animated movie. It costs more to make practical effect. That's why most films these days, including the MCU, rely on CGI to get everything done. Even the suits, the time travel suits in Endgame, those white things, even those were CGI. They were just CGI'd onto the body, and they do that because it's cheaper, compared to everything else. And
Yeah.
to actually build sets and suits and weapons and props and shit, it's bloody expensive.
There is budgets that you're like, there's no way it would be that much.
Who was it? I think it was can't remember one of the actors for the MCU. I think it was Josh Brolin. Said he very much prefers practical sets over the CGI sound stages of the MCU.
Well, yeah.
Like who is Josh Brolin play? Oh, that's it. I remember now. He was because he plays Gurney Halleck in Dune, but he also plays Thanos, doesn't he? Right? Yeah. He said he very much prefers the practical sets, the actual sets and practical effects of Dune over the complete CGI soundstage we see in the MCU.
Yeah, because you just had you're in a warehouse that's just green screens everywhere, green everywhere. Nothing
yeah, a green warehouse basically.
Who was it now? The other, what's his name? And it's a guy who plays not Thor's father in the films. What's his name?
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
He came out like today where he said it's so boring being on green screens. It was the easiest thing you had to do. Just sit there. It's boring.
Yeah, you basically just...
about it. Good. That's because it's not real. That's the problem with it.
Yeah, you have to imagine it's there. You don't get to see it until you're watching it on the screen.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with the MCU. Well, one of the biggest problems. It's a lot more problems than that, really, but that's one of the big ones. They rely too much on CGI, green screens.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? That's why I always love big budget. That's why I always love those big budget movies that you actually know are going to be good. Like say not Star Wars necessarily going to be good, but like Avatar as well. They have more going for them, They look more real. you get what I mean. And
Yeah.
Dune, you struggle to see things in Dune that are CGI. You know, if you get what I mean. I mean, obviously, you know what the parts that are CGI, but it's just you know which parts are CGI and which aren't.
Yeah, I get you.
But like they look real, and you can tell most of it is a set. Like when they filmed it in a desert, for God's sake.
Yeah, well,
They filmed it
it's not art. They film in real places.
filming in. It's a disappearing art to film. To film with practical effects. You know,
Yeah,
actual
there's
set.
only one person who does that. It's Christopher Nolan. He doesn't like CGI.
Oh yeah, he frigging loves practical effects, bro. I mean, everything he does is practical. The ship in Dunkirk, that was all real. The fucking plane in Tenet, you
What
know,
was anyone else making them movies?
yeah,
They'd
CGI.
be CGI. They'd be shit.
He was so determined not to use CGI for Tenet. The plane was going to be a miniature model until he found out it would actually be cheaper to buy a real 747 and crash it into a building.
That's why he's like one of the last great directors.
But that's directors, yeah. I was like last night. I actually watched Ready Player One.
I've not watched that in a long time.
The only parts where that film is CGI is when it has to be CGI. That's when most of the film is CGI, but because it takes place in a video game, it's like you'd have to believe that you can't make a video game look realistic and look like real life. It has to be CGI because it's a video game. I mean, it's not like they were going to get all that pop culture from just like build an actual DeLorean or an Iron Giant, was it?
Oh, fuck it. That movie
Like,
is fucking it's a good movie.
that's a brilliant movie.
It's just it's crazy how realistic it might actually be one day. I
Nearly there.
don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll find out.
Yeah, well, the fact that it's not so much a game, the Oasis in Ready Player One. It's not so much a game. It's a virtual universe where people just interact and play with each other, don't they? That's kind of like what it. So for a company like that, to make a real virtual universe where people can just interact and play with each other. That's where people spend most of their time, as he mentions in the film. Reality sucks, so everyone goes to the Oasis and just chills out there.
Yeah, but it just makes people more alone, I think.
Well, that's the thing. He says his best friend H. He only ever met him, and he's never met her in the real world.
Yeah, it's just anyway. We went on a tangent there.
Yeah, we went on a tangent away from Spider-Verse. So Spider-Verse, we were talking about multiverse and how Sony have done it better. Spider-Verse is about a spider society that they're trying to stop the universe from collapsing by keeping the canon timeline in the right order. And Miles gets involved in
that entire canon thing because it can get a lot confusing.
And Miles, gets involved in this, and we can't really talk much about it without spoiling anything, can we?
Well, we've already spoiled a lot.
No, it's like we were just saying, we didn't really spoil much about the story. It's just the villain is a guy from the first one who can teleport. We know Gwen's backstory. We know the Spider Society. We know which her dad finds out she's Gwen. It's not. I mean, she's Spider-Woman. That's just all we know. I mean, how we've said. And it's weird. I did love the film, but I actually thought the first one was better.
I gotta say the first one is better.
I guess it's because this one's only supposed to be it's the second film, but it's the first in a two-parter, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's going to get yeah.
I thought we can judge it more when the second part comes out next year. I think.
It's like Dune. Going back to Dune. When the film feels like it's kicking off, it ends. You know. But if
Yeah,
you
that's the
that's
same thing for
because
this film.
that's literally because Dune is adapted. Both films are adapted in the same book. So because because it feels like you're only halfway through when the movie gets to the end, that's because it is only halfway through. It's halfway through the book.
Yeah, that's the one thing that did my head in for this movie at the end. I'm not gonna say what happens at the end, but the cliffhanger is just it's about to get going and then it just ends.
I was like, no, you can't be. I was like, don't tell me this movie's about to end on a cliffhanger. I was literally sat in the cinema like, I came here. I didn't come here to watch a cliffhanger. I was thinking, should I go watch Guardians of the Galaxy or should I go watch Spider-Man? I thought, you know what, Spider-Man's just come out, so I'll just go watch that instead.
And that's what, then you're like, oh, it's just getting going, and it ends, and you're like, oh shit.
So
can't wait about a year, I think.
We're going to have to wait another year, yeah. In the meantime, while we wait, though, coming in December, there is something else I'm looking forward to that is going to be...
Yeah, Rebel Moon.
It's going to be a 3-part trilogy now, not a 2-part. Rebel Moon.
By Zack Snyder.
Yep. He's got too many projects going on. He's got Army of the Dead. And he's also got this coming.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
What was it? Rebel Moon takes place. It actually, from what I can see, it doesn't take place in our universe. It takes place in like a Star Wars style universe. Pardon me. Because
I don't know much about it.
He pitched it to Lucasfilm as a Star Wars project, hence the name Rebel Moon. However, when Lucasfilm rejected it, he developed it into an original idea and sold it to Netflix. So basically, it takes place on the moon Velt on the edge of the galaxy, which is home of a peaceful farming community. And then the Imperium shows up to try and conquer this moon as part of their empire.
Yeah, isn't the bad guy some like general person?
Yeah, he's the regent, they call him. And they don't call it the Earth, they call it the Mother World. So, as far as I know, it's not actually our universe, or it is our universe, just a long, long time in the future. Anyway, the people of the main character is a woman called Cora, and she's living on this planet, on this moon. And she used to be an Imperial specialist, an Imperial officer or whatever. She knows just how savage the Empire are. So when the Imperium show up to conquer the moon, she travels across the galaxy, recruiting soldiers and rebels to help fight form her resistance against this Imperium.
There's got to be a trailer coming out very soon.
Oh, there will be. Yeah.
I saw the images and I was like, yeah, it looks cool.
He's planning on expanding the universe with an animated TV show, tabletop games, that kind of thing. He wants to make it into an actual science fiction space opera franchise, like a mini Star Wars, basically.
Yeah, it's on Star Wars.
He wants to make I guess Lucasfilm rejected the idea, so he's going to make his own little competitive franchise centered around these 3 films.
I'm just glad he's not doing any superhero movies.
Yeah, he's
done with that now.
Wasted on superhero movies. He really was.
It's better when he can make his things already exist, but he can make it better.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of his superhero movies, but alright, I'm a fan of his other movies.
I I'm a fan of Dawn of the Dead remake. That was actually a good film. But it's funny that film. He directed it, and the writer was James Gunn.
It's like he made
Dawn of the Dead.
like before he did before he did Man of Steel, he did Dawn of the Dead, he did 300, he did Watchmen,
Oh, that's a good film. That.
he did Sucker Punch, which is an alright movie.
Oh no, but yeah, that was where she dances and they go on a weird different thing.
It's
It's strange.
a very mind fucking movie, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he did Army of the Dead, and no. Yeah, he's better. He was better before he did superhero movies. If you want my opinion.
He's better when he can do his own thing.
But yeah, Rebel Moon looks good. Hope it is good. Hope it doesn't suck. I really want it to be good because it's been a long time since we've had some really good original sci-fi. You know,
Yeah, it comes out
December,
Christmas.
yeah. 2 days,
22nd or something.
2 days before Christmas it comes out.
I'll be checking that out. Hope it's good.
Rebel
I
Moon.
like his Arm of the Dead. That was actually a good film to me.
Yeah, I liked Army of the Dead. Super annoying characters, but it was a good movie.
Yeah, there's one another character. That
It's like Denis, and speaking of like good sci-fi, you know, the only good sci-fi films I think I've seen in the past few years, not original sci-fi. I mean, well, not even original. Denis Villeneuve, uh, he did Blade Runner 2049, and he did um, Dune, obviously. But before he did that, he did The Arrival, and he did Sicario. Sicario put him on the map. The Arrival,
Sicario was such a sick film.
yeah, he kind of slipped into obscurity with The Arrival, and then
I never watched that film.
What?
I never watched it when that came out.
Yeah, and then he made a massive comeback with his magnum opus, Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, Jamie didn't do well at the cinema.
I know. Oh my! I will forever hate the detractors for that. And then,
You know what? Even if it did bad, it's still a good film.
oh, that film is amazing.
It'll be a cult classic one day.
And then you got Dune, obviously, which put him way it made him a household name basically.
Yeah. There's only a few directors out there that like it.
You know what's funny? Denis Villeneuve doesn't think that he doesn't think that Blade Runner's any good. Everybody tells him it's amazing, but I guess he's got some sort of self-conscious creator syndrome, where you think your work isn't adequate enough, and that's got to be the reason it failed, I guess.
That's the reason that he thinks it's gone down.
But no, people tell him all the time, Denis, that fucking film was amazing.
Yeah, it's just a shame. It didn't do well, but it's still great.
Well, that's why I'm hoping Rebel Moon does well, because I don't want to see another good, something that's got a lot of promise flop, basically.
I still don't understand how you make money on like Netflix and stuff.
I think it's like depending on like how many people are subscribed. How many people subscribe? People pay subscription to watch Netflix, right? And then depending on how many people watch, like their creations. Some of the people that the revenue generated by subscriptions, I think some of it goes towards the movies that are made for the platform. You get what I mean? Like, Like, if you subscribe to Netflix and you watch a film or a show, then some of that money from the subscription is going to go to the people that made it because they watched it.
Do they make like money from people watching it?
Yeah, I think what it is, I don't know if I'm right on this, but from what I think it is, people, like I've just said, people who are subscribed to Netflix, they pay to subscribe to Netflix, and if they watch a show or a film, then some of what they pay for Netflix will go to the people that made that movie, because while they were paying for their subscription, they watched that show or that film, basically. If that makes sense.
Sort of.
It's like because their creation was watched on Netflix, the people that made it are entitled to a cut of a cut of the subscription, basically. That's basically how it goes. I think that's how it goes. No clue.
Netflix used to be the thing to go to.
Yeah.
There's like jokes or things where they will greenlight anything.
Yeah, they'll greenlight anything. Now they'll fucking cancel anything if it doesn't make them enough dough.
If it's not something like
If it's not a
things
not
or Cobra Kai, they cancel them.
yeah, if it's not a guaranteed cash cow like Stranger Things, they're not interested.
Yeah, they cancelled Altered what's it called? Fuck, I said it wrong, okay? Altered Carbon, they cancelled that after season 2.
Carbon, and they cancelled The Order. But you know,
The Order was gone. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The werewolves and stuff.
Yeah. You could tell they were on a very restricted budget because they barely showed the werewolves.
So yeah, they didn't want to show the werewolves to blind.
When we did see
That was like unique with the werewolves too.
What?
It wasn't like your actual it was original, wasn't it? It was werewolves.
Yeah, the werewolves pelts choose who can, become a werewolf basically. And they become activated if they detect magic in the vicinity, because they're supposed to be like sworn knights who fight evil magic.
Yeah, we cancelled it.
Yeah, fuckers. Never forgive them for that.
They cancel stuff that people like, that's annoying.
At least
I bet they were happy when Stranger Things blew up.
It's like, at least, well, yeah, no matter what happens, right? So even if their other shows flop, they'll always be forever. They'll forever have all they need is Stranger Things. Then they know they don't need anything else.
That's why they're making spin-offs and everything after it ends.
Yeah.
Because they know how popular it is. There's so many different stories you could tell in that world. We've still got that girl who was in season 2, was it? I think.
Yeah.
The other girl in the powers for trying to make a show about her, I think.
Carly, yeah.
But I think because everyone was a massive uproar, is like, nah, we're not doing that. And then they stopped it.
They should have 100% done like a show based on Carly. She was very.
I don't know if she was I don't think she was interesting.
She wasn't super interesting, but she was interesting enough.
Yeah. It's just that the cliffhanger in the episode 6, I think.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was like, I can't wait for the next episode.
It turns out it was just about.
And that's why everyone was annoyed.
Well, can't have everything.
It's like, actually, the mic, you're still watching The Walking Dead at a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, as bad as Netflix are for cancelling shit, at least they're not like Disney, who will, just remove stuff. If stuff that's been cancelled after a while, they'll just remove it because,
Yeah,
Alan.
because you'll never see any of that stuff again. Once it's gone on Disney, you're not going to be able to buy it. That's why physical media is so better. You just get to keep it forever, and you can't get rid of it.
That's why even though Avatar: The Way of Water is coming out on Disney Plus, I'm gonna get it on Blu-ray at some
It
point.
came out today on Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
I'm still gonna get it on Blu-ray.
It's kind of weird on like streaming services and stuff like that now, because they're going on download, digital download, when the film's still in cinema. That's taking money away from the movie. That's why people wait for Disney Plus. Any movie that comes out, they know in a few months it'll be on there.
Yeah, I
They
I,
don't go to cinema and watch it.
I
That's
have to go
money
back
gone.
and watch it.
I go to cinema and watch them. I watch the Marvel films to see how bad they get now. I don't watch them to enjoy them anymore.
I went to the cinema because I've been waiting. I've been waiting 13 years to see a sequel to Avatar, so I had to go to cinema to watch it, and it had to be IMAX.
Did you go IMAX?
Yeah, I wanted to go with my mum and Gary, but mum couldn't go. So
You went with Matthew, didn't you?
yeah,
Oh, well, one of our friends.
he he uh he was always a fan of Avatar as well. I think he was. I can't. I think he was. I actually can't remember. I think he watched it back in school, but he never watched it again. And he said to me he'd only just watched the first one before before he came out. You know, so it's like so he's freshly recapped.
Yeah. A
What's
lot of people like the second one for the family story.
What's funny is if this is only noticeable if you have watched the extended edition. I watched the extended edition of the first Avatar, and
Yeah.
there's footage in it that was reused on some TV screens in the second movie. Like they're trying to pass it off as stuff that's just happened inside in the film. You know, some kind of big event that's just happened in the film. People watched extended, they're like, "That's shit that happened in the first movie." So they're basically just recycling stuff.
Yeah. Same. It's crazy how like releasing movies to watch digital to straight away when the film's still in cinema is kind of a joke thing. Like, why would you do that? Don't you want the film to keep making money?
I don't think they care anymore. If
Well,
streaming
because Guardians is doing well, James Gunn said it'll be a while before you can get this film.
streaming services, I think they're determined to knock out cinemas. You know.
I hope they never do because cinema is a great time.
Yeah, it unites people. It's fun. You know, it's just something fun
It's
to do.
something to do and get out. All they want us to do is sit on our ass and just in our house and watch crap, basically.
Basically.
So like all the fast food, sit on your ass, and that's what they want. It's all about watch time to them.
Oh boy, it's Christmas.
To try and keep us on Netflix or Amazon as much as they can to get more viewership, the numbers up.
Yeah. So I was just playing Battlefield, and I looked, and I've got me this DMR out, right? You know, the one that kills people in 2 shots. And I looked over a hill. This new map, it's quite small, 64 players only. And came over a hill, and there was a load of enemy players running across the courtyard, and I'm like, oh boy, it's Christmas. 2-shot monster. Here we go. Anyway.
Oh yeah, so
What else have we got?
well you know Wednesday the show.
Yeah,
Well, Jenna Ortega's become a producer on that show now.
not surprised.
And they're going to concentrate less on relationships and more on horror.
Well, I mean, they can't really. The relationship they were supposed to be setting up, her and Xavier, that's dead in the water considering the guy's been sacked from it.
Well, yeah, but that was like the least exciting part about the show.
Yeah.
Like the
No,
relationship
no was
stuff. I don't
interesting.
really care about that. I more care about like the story and the writing. Just, I don't really care about who's with who in what show. I
Ain't gonna be no
mean,
thing on that.
Stranger Things season 4 was setting up Nancy being with Steve. Unless he dies.
God, I hope he doesn't die.
'Cause I can see them killing some characters off the last season. God knows when that's going to come out because all the strike that's going on for the writers in America, in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think on the 30th, even the actors are going on strike. We won't be getting anything for a long time. I mean, we've got stuff set up for the full year, but God knows how long this strike's going on for. Everything's got shut down because you can't do it apparently. Unless you
Shit.
get fined, I think. But I'm sure some shows will get affected and that's going to be annoying.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Deadpool's going to be one of them that's going to take a hit for that. If he can't do his own shit that he wants to do in the movie. The writing that he writes, and the jokes
Yeah,
that he
the
has.
improvisation.
That's not going to be as good anymore.
Nope. Poor Ryan.
Yep. He was born to play Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
I still think Deadpool 1 is the better film.
Yeah, definitely. Two was good as well.
It was good, it's just weren't as good as the first one. It got too crazy in the second one. The Juggernaut was hilarious. So
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
that's Ryan Reynolds' voice.
Yeah,
Like,
funny that. And they actually pointed out for the first time in the entire movies that the Juggernaut is related to Professor Xavier. It's like, so your father's in, so like your brother can control people with his mind? Yeah, but he's in a wheelchair, so you know. Also,
yeah.
the day before released footage, they're hinting that it's definitely on track. I hope it really is.
Hopefully.
The trailer they released, it was a fucking knockoff, blatant knockoff of I Am Legend. The opening scene where he's driving through New York in that sports car,
Yeah.
and like this
In
chasing
New
dirt boy.
York, that apparently hasn't fucking
Yeah, sank.
drowned or anything.
Hasn't sank
Like, under the
from lack
ground.
of, hasn't sank from lack of maintenance somehow. But yeah, like basically, like in this trailer for the day before, you got this guy in like in a Ferrari driving through the streets of a deserted city, and there's deer running past him, and yeah, it's like just a straight up knockoff of I Am Legend.
Yeah, of course, you have to rip that off.
And also, what is it? Yeah, No Man's Sky revealed and released Singularity update, which allows you to put a brain in a robot body and play as a robot.
Play as a robot. Nice.
Like humanoid machines, basically. They really love, even though he passed away 4 years ago, they still use Rutger Hauer's narration. They hired him to do a narration back when the game first came out for the trailer, which was,
Yeah.
it was like paraphrasing his famous Tears in the Rain speech from Blade Runner. Like, I've seen things you wouldn't believe. And they're still using
Honestly,
it,
you
even
know
though,
his birthday is today.
what?
Or would have been. You know his birthday would have been today.
Who's?
Lance Redrick.
Oh, Lance Reddick. Oh,
He would have been 61.
it is. It's pretty interesting that he was playing. He was playing Destiny the night before he died.
Yeah, I think I saw a trailer for the new DLC for Destiny, and he was in the voice of the
Yeah,
ghost.
a guardian to the end.
They respected him too in that game because
Yeah, all the players.
he actually loved that game.
The players just like doing the salutes to him and all that with the banners. That's
Yeah,
Destiny's a very divisive game, but the hardcore players genuinely love it. It's like a genuine community for the players.
yeah, a lot of people love Destiny.
I I wouldn't play it now because it's too much to get into. But one of the
The
regrets
first one, I don't even know if you can play that one anymore.
you can play it. The servers are still on.
But it's still messed up though with it.
No, I played it. It must have been about 2 years ago. Last time I played it, and it was pretty stable. It was quite a sizable amount of players.
That's surprising to me.
Yeah. Well, the first Destiny, it's a more less complex game compared to the second one. The second one is so frigging complex now. You got so many story missions, so many raids, so many weapons, so many character gear and levels and shit like this, and all that. Just so much shit. So many little mini quests and shit. It's just become one of those RPGs that it's completely not friendly for the noobs. Anyone who starts playing it is going to have a really big ball ache trying to get into it. Trying to. I mean, because when it went free to play, considering they made the store when you originally had to pay for the game, you were dropped right into the main campaign before you could go into the open world. When they made the game free to play, the story was relegated to being accessed through a computer terminal in the main area. Well, other than that, if it didn't tell you anything about what you were doing, where you were going, it just dropped you in the world and let you get on with it. And I admit I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going. I was like, "Where's the story missions? What I'm supposed to be doing here?"
I never played the first one on what when it came out.
Destiny 1 is less complex, because it actually has a set. The story, the main story, has never gone away. The story for Destiny 2 is long gone now. You can't play it anymore. The original story that it launched with, you can't play it. They vaulted it a long time ago, along with the first two DLC. But
Don't Bungie own that game though?
yeah, they amicably parted ways with Activision and retained the IP, and they made it free to play.
At least they did that. That's good.
Yeah. Despite there was some nasty rumours going around saying that Activision and Bungie had a falling out, and Bungie and Activision were quick to say that's not the case. This was we had created differences, so we just said goodbye to each other.
You have to get people that are going to say rumours out there.
It was apparently it was nothing more than just Activision wanted to go one direction and Bungie wanted to go another. So Bungie said, sorry, this isn't working out.
Yep, and now they're bringing out Marathon.
Yep. First installment in Marathon in like 30 years. Nearly 30.
Jesus.
About 25 years, I think.
That's mental.
Marathon on its surface is just a simple Doom clone, right? But where its complexity comes in the fucking deep and expansive lore and massive universe that they built around these three Marathon games. Like, especially Marathon 2, Durandal, is the one which is least on the story side. The first game is the biggest story-based one of them all. The third game I've never actually played, so I don't know much about that. But the attraction with Marathon comes, because like I said, it's just a Doom clone. If you just play it, play it without knowing anything about it, it's just going to be a Doom clone. But there's a massive fucking expanded universe surrounding it, with hours upon hours of lore, and that's the attraction.
Yeah.
And over 30,
You played the first one the other day?
what?
Which one was you playing the other day?
The second one.
You said it was really old.
Oh yeah, it's a Doom clone, from the mid-90s. So yeah, it's old, and it literally only has one song in the whole game, and that's the main theme, which plays at the main menu. And people have joked throughout the years that they were only going to ever have one song for it, and they made it go as hard as possible. Like That
was sick when we saw that.
But the new one, the new Marathon, apparently it's an extraction shooter. So take that with however you find it, just however you want. Don't know how to feel about it, but
You have to wait and see what it's like.
Yep, I will.
I have to wait and see what gameplay looks like. We saw the CGI trailer. Oh wait, in 5 days, in the PlayStation, Xbox showcase.
It is, yeah.
Yep, on the 12th. Wonder if they've got anything decent to show.
I hope so.
Not like PlayStation.
What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, like what I was saying earlier, Dynamo. You don't know anything about that, but
I've never heard of it.
well, the original Dynamo was a web series from the early 2010s, sorry, which was set on Earth countless centuries in the future, basically, and it was like a cyberpunk dystopia universe, and you'd have to really pay attention to figure out what it's about. But the main attraction with Dynamo is the insane level of quality of CGI made by one guy inside his house. So, like, later, if you like, we'll watch. Oh, did you watch that scene I sent?
Don't have time.
Or watch that later if you want in a bit. But it's only a few seconds long. But yeah, it takes place in a city state called Shade in the future, and it's the people are basically the only thing in it that's real. Everything else is animated, but it's done so seamlessly that you'd be mistaken for thinking it's real. And the original series concluded several years ago. This new one that's just come out is called Dynamo Dreams, and that's like a continuation. And the
Dynamo Dreams.
The animation is so much better than what it used to be. And the guy making it is called Ian Huberts. He's very, very good at what he does.
Who is he?
Well, he's an animator. He uses Blender and Eevee to create just animated stuff. Little shows, stuff like that. So his Dynamo Dreams is the one that he's done the most now.
Oh yeah, well I saw this 14-year-old who made a trailer in Lego for Across the Universe, Across Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
It looks pretty good. I don't know how he did it, but it looks really good.
Interesting.
Used real Lego, I think, to somehow film all that stuff. He's gonna get a good job when he's older.
Yeah, I do like how in Across the Spider-Verse, when that Lego Spider-Man phones up Miguel O'Hara, pardon me, and Miguel's like, "You're one of our best."
Yeah.
The fact that Miguel considers a toy to be one of the best.
He's one of the best. And was that JJ Jameson, the guy who played him. What's his name?
Yeah, Jonah Jameson.
There's only one guy you can get to voice him. That's it. Yeah, that it's actually really. All the different Spider-Man in that film was just crazy. This can't possibly get any weirder than a T-Rex.
Oh yeah. He actually does have a name, Pater Prehistoric or something like that.
I'm pretty sure most Spider-Man be against Miguel. I don't think they would trust him.
They do like phone. I mean, she phones the others like who she knows would go against him.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be the pig from the first film.
Yeah, Peter Porker,
Noir Spider-Man.
Spider Noir. Everybody loves Spider Noir.
Especially when it's Nick Cage.
Yeah,
I saw a new trailer with Nick Cage in it. I think
Sympathy
it's
for the
called Symphony for the Devil.
Sympathy for the Devil. Yeah,
And
I'm not.
it's like
I'm not seeing
another.
the. I'm not seeing the trailer the whole way through.
Just like another crazy ass Nick Cage film.
Yeah, I think I'll give that a break for now. I'm playing it for ages.
It's next weekend. It's the Flash that comes out.
Yeah.
Flash is only gonna. I don't think it's gonna do good, but I'm still gonna watch it from Batman. I don't care about the Flash.
No one does.
A film that is no, I don't care about it.
Ugh. Right, well, we've been going on for an hour. Would you say that's plenty of time?
We can wrap it up if you want. I need to go on top Avery anyway, so yeah, I might as well.
All right.
Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you in the next stream. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Bye bye.